What's happening, everyone? Hello, hello. I hope you are having a great Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to Ed Talk TV. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and here is where we have conversations worth having. Kind of messed that one up, but that's okay. That's what live broadcasting is all about, right? So welcome. I'm so excited. Today we are going to have a special guest. I'll bring them on soon. We're going to talk about inbox and how crazy our inboxes can be sometimes and what we can do about that. But first, let me give you a little background about the show, especially if this is your first time joining. First off, welcome. And second, let's talk about it. We talk about business, tech, and the user experience here. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can head over after to checkwithed.com and just click on the Facebook Live show in the menu there. And that will give you details about the show and how you can become a guest. We also want to make sure we give a quick shout out. You'll see more at the end, but a quick shout out to our sponsor, Stupid Easy, where you can easily Stupid Easy, where you can easily create, share, and sell your online courses. So you'll check out stupideasy.com later after the broadcast as well. And if you have not checked out the page here on Facebook, check out the pinned post at the top later, because that has all the details on how you can follow the page and get notified when we do these lives, which we go Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And ideally, we'll have a guest on every day, though some days it will just be me, and that's all good too. So before I jump into bringing on our guest, I always like to bring up something random that I find throughout the social media news. And today, I want to talk real quick about the 5G network. Yeah, so apparently for 2018 in tech news, the big thing is going to be having 5G network. Well, 5G, I'm still okay with trying to figure out how we get the 4G and the LTE to work where we are, right? So why are we going to 5G if we can't even get the ones that we have now to work in more places? So I don't know about you, but that's my thought on that. So 5G sounds great, but can we just get the other ones to work for us so that way we're good? Because, you know, when they bring 5G up, that means you have to have a new device. You'll have to have all these new probably logins and things like that, because they're talking about security issues and things like that. So let's just fix what we already have and worry about stepping up our game after we get all this worked out. So anyway, that's what we want to talk about. Hey, April, welcome for joining. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Feel free, you guys, to share the broadcast. I'll try to remind you throughout the actual show. Also, be sure to go past just liking and start sharing the hearts and the emotions, because that's what Facebook likes. Not just for my show, but anybody's show that you watch. And then also be sure to pop into the comments, because the magic happens in the comments. While we're talking, the guest and I, feel free to comment among each other. We will jump into the comments as well and try to answer as many questions as we can. If for whatever reason we don't get to them during the show, we'll definitely follow up afterwards. And we'll also make sure to have our guests provide links later. So everything will be there for you. And then just in case you have to leave early, no problem. This will be on the Facebook page here for you to watch later, because we get a lot of replay viewers. And I also post it over on the blog. So all you have to do is go to checkwithed.com and everything is there for you. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let me go ahead and bring on our guest. I'm really excited. She's gonna introduce herself, and yeah, we're gonna jump into it. I hope you guys are ready.
All right. Can everyone?
Hey,
Hey, Ed, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You know, I think this is our first Friday night together. I feel like I've been with you other nights. We did New Year's Eve in 2016 together, and here we are again, another good evening.
You are, and I love it. It's awesome. And now, before I get too far into it, before I forget, I want to make sure that I get a good screenshot. So I'm going to take my phone. I'm going to do a screenshot of us actually smiling, because for anybody out there who's ever wondered, the video clips, the screenshots that the video pulls, they are just bonkers. They are just hilarious. And I really want to come up with a website, if it's not already out there, for having the worst ones shown somewhere, because there's some really bad ones.
I totally agree. Perfect.
So we are going to go ahead and do that now. So go ahead and smile, and I'm going to look at my screen here and make sure I try to get it there. And 1, 2, 3. Let's see if I got that, because it is a little bit of a delay, so I want to make sure. See, this is what you guys, this is what we do. Oh, yeah. That one was almost there, but not really. So
No.
that was my bad. So let me go again. All right. Ready? 1, 2. And I'm going to do 3 once it catches up. Hang tight. There we go. There's a long delay. All right. Hopefully one of those will work. Yeah. Awesome.
Perfect.
So go ahead, introduce yourself. I know who you are, but share who you are with the audience today.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited to be with y'all on a Friday night. I've got my tea, I've got a candle burning. I'm all up in the mood to talk all about inbox insanity. And I own a business operations firm called the Colada Group. Yes, that is referring to pina coladas. So if you enjoy pina colada, put one in the comments and I will totally be right there with you. And we help people with their systems, and we really want to maximize the efficiency of people's tech and their team, because I don't know about y'all, but I got into business to take more vacations. So I want to be able to have a business that can work when I'm not. And so that comes down to automation and delegation, and that's stuff that we dig. And so obviously Ed and I we'll probably just sit here and tech nerd it out. And I'm super excited to talk about inbox, because it's something that basically every business owner has. I have yet to find somebody who doesn't, but you never know. But it's also something that is a huge time suck for people. So I'm really excited.
I love it. And just so you know, and anybody else who's watching, anytime you see me look down, it's because I have the Facebook app open so that I can also jump in the comments and kind of heart it up and, just share the love, because I have Be Live open as well for commenting, but I like to jump in and, show those emotions there.
I know. Yeah, I'm the same way. Got mine up over there. So you're looking down, I'm looking off to the right.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. So let's just jump right on into it.
What's your biggest issue with your inbox? What is the thing about your inbox that just drives you up a wall?
For me, it really comes down to, I'm a little, okay, so I have to be honest.
Yep.
And you might already know this one, but I have to be honest. I try to keep my inbox down to 0, or if there is something in there. So I think that there's probably 6 emails in my actual inbox right now, because they're ones that I'm waiting to follow up with or hear from. So I'm kind of an email freak, and I'm really, really organized. Or I try to be really organized. I mean, sometimes when we're too organized, it almost backfires. But anyway, I use my inbox. I have several inboxes, different email addresses for different things. Yeah. But for my main one, I try to get everything. It's kind of like a to-do list. I try to get everything out of there and put it somewhere else so that I can keep all the necessary things in play right there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. So then you basically do a lot of automatic filtering, or does everything come through the main inbox still?
Great question. So I do some automated filtering, but it also depends on what the email is. So for instance, when I'm signing up for email lists for other people's lists, I use a completely separate email than my main one, which I have clients send to me.
Yep.
So that's a whole different inbox. And so I do things like that. And then if it's from a certain client, yes, I have it auto tag. I use Gmail from G Suites and have it auto tag. So then that way I can just see it and then finish it and automatically put it in that box if I want to or whatever.
Nice. Gotcha. Yeah. It's funny because the inbox 0 gives me anxiety for some reason. Looking at a clean inbox either makes me feel like A, nobody wants to hang out with me, or B, I if I see something in there, then I want to clean it out right away. And for me, like I need to not see or like have my inbox even open or my like do not disturb on my phone so that I'm not going in there. So do you also have like times that you go into your inbox?
Yeah, so I don't actually have on my phone. I have the app, so I can access it on the go because I'm always on the go. But I actually don't have notifications turned on for it because I'm in email all the time and I naturally just go into it. So I don't need an annoying number to tell me, come open up this app and fix this, like text messages and stuff. So I take that completely off.
I know. I need to do that.
Yeah, it's really, really, really crazy. But yeah, I will tell you, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's one of those things that I don't like having those numbers show up on my devices.
I know.
And it's kind of like text messages where I'm like, okay, I want to answer it real quick. And I'm the same with email. Yeah. And when it comes to email, I'm like, I am already in my inbox enough. I'm on the computer and I have it pretty much open all the time. Wow. I'm okay with not having the notifications there.
You literally keep your inbox open all the time.
For the most part. But I do get into the habit of really, like when I'm really trying to focus or I have just a good project going, I will close the tab out and then kind of work for a few and then come back to it and check in. I get better at checking it, not every 5 seconds, if that.
Because like in the tab in Gmail, it'll update and say like 1 unread. And I'm like, I can't have that tab open because otherwise I will go open it and be like, who's emailing me? So it's funny that you have your inbox open all the time. I literally have it closed and have notifications off and all of that stuff on my computer. So it's funny I don't on my phone, but because I can't have it.
It's crazy.
I know, April, I have 554 combined unread emails. Oh my gosh.
Both of us are like, no.
Yeah. No shame at all, April. Like we all have been there. I have, my email. It's funny you talked about having a completely separate inbox for your like email list and stuff. That's totally what I have too. And I literally only open it to like review it. And right now it probably says like 30-some thousand emails unread because I don't need. I know. But I like to keep tabs on like different people and what everybody's got going on. And I like to reference things and all of that. So it's just in there, but I always have to just shut it out because otherwise, again, if it's like that many unread, I'm like, can't do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And quick email tip for you guys who are watching, and we'll have plenty more, I'm sure. But for me, the reason I do the separate email, which is probably obvious since we're talking, is it's for that extra. So it's not like something I have to do right now, and it doesn't mix up business, like real business work. The other thing I do too is I have a personal email that is only for junk stuff. So I have business junk email, and then I have personal junk email. And I think that's why so many people get caught up with all of these emails and hate their inbox because, and this is just my theory, but email first came out and then right after came text messaging, and people didn't get trained on the email and just jumped right into texting, and therefore it got all crazy.
Yeah.
And thankfully for the awesome photo editor when I was interning at a magazine, shout out to Sam if she ever watched this, but she taught me amazing email like organization because we were working at a magazine. Everything had to be exactly in the subject line as in the body, and you don't go outside of that. Like literally everything was perfect. So for me, that was the best experience ever because from then on, I'm like, I will train you how to use email and how to fall in love with it. And you're going to send me so many more emails that I will actually read and respond to.
I know, right? And I think it really is. And even with inside your inbox, there's notification of payments, there's notifications of, invoices. And like, while you need to get those emails, they're important, but they may not be urgent. And so I actually have an alias or like a second email inside my actual inbox that is literally payments@theglottagroup.com. You can email it, I guess, but I won't answer you. Because it's for payments. And so all of my invoices go into there, all of my sales, like you made a sale today, all of that goes in there. And I basically check it only on certain days that I'm focused on finances, and I pay everybody up and then I move on, because it's important that I get those emails. But I also, those ones, I don't want them to be in the main inbox, like taking my focus away from actual business, like you said. So that stuff's really important.
Yeah, no, and that's true. And a great question April brought up about chatbots, are they going to cause people to start phasing out using email? I mean, I'll let you answer too, but for me, I feel like there's this shift going on, and that it just depends on what the business is and how you're going to go about it. For me, email is like the way I run my business, because it's easy to search, it's easy to file, it's easy to reference. Chat like Messenger is not. Yeah, you can kind of search, but it's not, and it's wastes more time, in my opinion. And time equals money, right? For both you and your clients. So for me, I feel like they're testing it just to see, because they know that we like texting because it's quick and it's easy, but I don't think it's there yet. But again, I'm not all into the chat bots yet, so maybe there's different.
Yeah, I think that chat bots have their place 110%. I'm actually thinking about testing some stuff at the end of this month, but I don't think it will replace email in the sense of maybe for bigger companies it can be customer supporty, but for like our online marketing kind of sphere, I think that generally speaking, it's going to take some years, in my personal opinion, for chat to be able to replace email, if it ever does, because people are way too comfortable with their inboxes, and it's going to take some time to be able to like, oh, I can just go into my Facebook and message somebody. And actually, a lot of my clients now are coming to me and being like, how do I manage people personally Facebook messaging me in my personal inbox? Because, your business page, you can set up an automated response and whatever, but in your personal page, you can't. And so, they're getting bombarded with emails now with people personally PMing them, and it's causing them a bunch of anxiety. And they're like, I want to answer them, but I want to move them over my inbox because I don't want to conduct business there. And so it's everybody chooses their channel. And if you have too many channels, then that's an issue. And so a lot of times I will move conversations from other areas to say, email me, like Facebook PMs, I say, email me, and I will respond to whatever it is that you just said to me. Because again, I don't want to conduct business, and you really have to train people, and not in like a dog sort of way, but just you have to train people on where you want them to conduct business with you or conduct personal or whatever else. And it's really important to just let people know, because if you answer in Facebook Messenger and you answer in email and you answer in text message and you answer in whatever, then people are going to take advantage of all of those areas. And then that, to me, is the onus is on you as a business owner to tell people how you want to be treated, how you want to be talked to, all of that stuff. And so if chatbots are your jam, have at it and have people go, talk to them on your chatbots. But I would suggest choosing one, whether it's your inbox, chatbots, whatever, and sticking to it. And anybody coming from anywhere else, you funnel them into that one track.
Yeah, and real quick, what is a chatbot really for those who aren't really sure about it?
Yeah, so a chatbot is basically, it's a form of artificial intelligence. It can be anyway, where and right now it's all about Facebook chatbots. So if anybody's ever messaged you in an automated format in your Facebook Messenger, that is a chatbot. And essentially it can have actual conversations with you based on what it is you're saying, because someone's programmed them to be able to talk to you based on phrases, words, keywords, all of that stuff. People are using it now in just a channel way, so it might actually be a real person talking to you, but the way of the future in chatbots is that it just uses artificial intelligence to have a robot basically talking to your clients or your customers.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point. It's really figuring out where you want people to connect with you, and it's like when we think about too, we have our website, we have our social media platform, whether it's Facebook personal profile, business page, group, wherever. There's so many channels, and It's great. It's just like any other programs that are out there that offer every single thing that we want or think we want, but we still have to remember we have to fine tune it, and we have to figure out what works for us.
Yeah,
and go with that and make sure it's for us, and we just redirect that conversation. Like you were saying, if you hit me up in a private messenger, cool, redirect it to, I would like you to email me, so then that way I can follow up.
Right.
So and once you do that, I've noticed I've had people now who aren't even clients yet, but they've actually asked me, how can I connect with you? What's the preferred way to connect with you?
Yep.
And I'm like, that's so cool. I appreciate that. Like, that's really awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And it all has to do with just laying out expectations. And so, if you are talking to a client Facebook Messenger and then a couple months later, you're like angry, I find people like get really frustrated. And, you really are telling people that it's okay to go there, and your client's not doing anything but just following your lead. And same thing with your team. Like if they're slacking you in Asana, they're in your email, all of that stuff, they're just following your lead. And so, if you are at that point of frustration, then just pivot and say, you know what, I know that we've been like clicking through this, but I'm actually moving everything into my inbox and going there. It's never too late to have that conversation. But then from that point on, it is your responsibility to either not answer them if they are continuing to have a conversation in there, or to repeat yourself and say, hey, totally, I want to have this conversation with you. Please send it to this email. Please do this, do that, whatever else it is. And, your clients will respect what it is that you say. Just keep it consistent, because if you tell them, it's just like relationships. It's like if you tell them, this is how I want to hang out, and then they're like, but I want to hang out like this, and then you go do that, you can't fault them because you went along with it, and that's okay. But you can't be too two-faced about it, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it's funny, that real quick, and then we'll get back to the email part, is that's the whole thing. Like, same with Facebook pages. You guys, everyone talks about how you need a Facebook page, but then they kind of skip it. They get the page and they skip it because they think Facebook pages are dead unless you pay to play, and then they go straight to a Facebook group and then all this other stuff. Well, they're not dead. They're just, people just don't pay attention to them. They skip them, and they don't get the attention you need. And I will tell you, from just the little bit of work that I put in my page recently, has skyrocketed with the amount of people who are following me, who are tuning in live to these broadcasts, who are watching the replays, who are commenting and sharing. I mean, it's amazing to me. And all I care about is the engagement part. I care less about all the likes. Obviously those are great, but that's not what I'm in it for. I want the engagement. And that's huge. And when people come to my page, they already know instantly it's different than any other page they've gone to, even though it's the same template that almost everyone else has.
Exactly. And that's always why people are saying comment or like or do emoticons or whatever else, because people like to be told what to do. They will tell you they don't, but they actually do. Psychology has proven that. And so if you, again, in your inbox even, I suggest for people, if you have folks who want you to be on their podcast or whatever else, I always encourage people to have like a general form that the podcast person fills out. So that way, you can review it in your own, I guess, understanding, because sometimes they get really lengthy. You can't find the information that you need. And so just say, hey, awesome. I think I'm interested. Can you just put it in this form? And I review these every Monday. And I'll let you know on Monday if I like it. And the form's simple. It's like, okay, is it going to be in the next 2 weeks? Who's your audience? How long is the podcast interview? Am I expected to promote? Like, whatever is important to you that you need to know to make a decision. That way, again, you can just really think about how to best use your time. And if you're sitting there having to read an email, and it sounds silly, it's like a 1-minute process. But again, if you can make it a 5-second process and be like, oh, that's not my audience, or that's not going to work for me, I'm busy launching that time that they want to do a podcast, then you can make that decision a heck of a lot faster. And time adds up, for me anyway. I don't know about everybody else, but for me.
It's so true. And so how can we start helping our inbox? How can we start getting a little bit more sane?
Yes. So for me, it really was important to have one central inbox with several aliases. And aliases, if you haven't heard of what those are, it's a term inside of Gmail or G Suite, whichever one you use, that means that you can have an actual, basically inbox within an inbox. It's kind of Inception. And so, for example, I have hello@thecladaGroup.com. That is my main inbox. You can email it and I will answer. And then there's aliases. So my alias, like I mentioned before, is payments@thecladaGroup.com. And instead of paying for every single email address, so hello at, payments at, clients at, whatever else I have, it's all inside hello@thecladaGroup.com. And I can either answer it as hello at or clients at or whatever else. So it allows for really deeper filtering is the main reason that I'm a huge proponent for different aliases. And some of the ones that I suggest or can get your juices flowing about, okay, well, what aliases do I even need? One of the most powerful ones is the payments app, like I mentioned. So having it to be where all of invoices, sales, receipts, anything having to do with money goes into a payments@thecladaGroup.com email. Have your PayPal signed up to that, your Stripe signed up to that, all of that stuff inside of there. And then another one that I love to suggest is software@CladaGroup.com. That is what all of my logins are. And so I don't have to guess, did I use my personal email? Did I use that other email? What email is this username under? I have no idea. And so I have software@thecladaGroup.com as my login for everything. And that really, because it blows my mind. I was on so many people's teams for the longest time, and they were like, I don't know what email I used for this. So you try these 3 emails. I'm like, this is insanely inefficient. So I was determined to put a plan in place for that. So it's just very standard, and it helps, again, just take the guessing out of logins. And so a lot of this is just taking the guesswork out of whatever business topic you're in. So for email, it's taking the guesswork out of logins. That's a huge, huge one that my clients have really appreciated, and I really appreciate, because it's not about that. What businesses do you have?
Those are really good. I don't have those ones.
Yay!
I'm like, okay, mental note, and I actually just wrote it down on paper too.
Nice.
Mine, I have the normal one, which is just Connect. That one's like basically my direct inbox there. And then I'll have ones that are specific, like info. Usually people have the info one as their main one. Mm-hmm. For me, not so much. That's more of where I direct for email marketing stuff, sign up for lists and things. I have, I think, marketing at, I think I have promotions at. I mean, again, some of my stuff is probably a little too specific, but that was at the beginning when I first started. And then I have like certain ones which are just more for like just my needs from the business, like specific business legal purposes or whatever. I'll send them to a direct inbox that's only mine, which I'm not sharing with you guys.
Keep that one private.
Yeah. But yeah, I try to think about those specifics and trying to make them easier. And for you guys who are watching this, later you can check out, I have a list of my tools on my website at checkwithed.com. You can check there, and there is actually one that we're talking about, which is G Suites. And that's what we're talking about when it comes to aliases and being able to easily just have literally one inbox program that you're going into, but you have these multiple email addresses in one. So it's a nice, easy filing system. So that's what we're talking about, is we're just going into one program that easily lists all those things.
Yep, exactly. And so it is actually less overwhelming, 110%, because again, and the filtering can get really, really sexy. So again, with the payments, generally speaking, I have it so that it's not bolded. So it's marked as red. But my invoices are marked as unread because I need to pay people. So it's important that shows up. But for all of my software stuff, that all is marked as marked as red, because it's usually just, the software tool putting me on their newsletter, and I don't really care about that stuff. And then a quick way to clean up, if you do have newsletters in your current business inbox. So if you are just coming in, you're like, but I've signed up for all these newsletters, how do I get rid of them? Whatever else. Here's one of the quickest ways you can do that. So you go into, if you have Gmail or G Suite, you go into settings, hit settings, and then open up the filters tab and essentially create a new filter. And then inside of there, it has, there's like from to subject line, and then there's has the words. And inside that box, put the word unsubscribe. Like just put the word unsubscribe and then hit, I think it's a little magnifying glass, and that will find all of the emails in your inbox right now that have the words unsubscribe in them. So then what you do is you filter those into a label or a folder. And you also make sure that you check the button that says also filter X amount that are also, that also have this unsubscribe in it. And again, it probably is going to have a lot in there. And you check that box, then you hit filter. Now what's going to happen is all of your past newsletters that have been in your inbox now are going into this folder. Nice. So now you can actually go through this folder a lot quicker than you can your entire inbox and say, ooh, yeah, and you can manually unsubscribe. So there is still a manual process, but you don't have to sort through your entire inbox to see what newsletters you're even a part of. And so it's like really fast, really efficient. You can sit there and, watch Scandal and just like tip tap away at whatever it is that you want to get rid of. And then you can either undo that filter and then move it to a separate filter that's like newsletters or something like that. But people have always been like, well, how do I mass unsubscribe? And, that's one of the best ways that I found anyway, because I don't want to necessarily mass unsubscribe from all newsletters, but I want to be able to just see the newsletters that I'm subscribe to and go from there.
So sexy. This is what happens on a Friday night. Instead of going out to the club, you come and tune into Ed Talk TV and you learn about how to make your inbox sexy again.
Yes, bringing sexy back to the inbox. Amen.
I love it. Yeah, and those filters, I haven't tried the unsubscribe part. That's a good one. Those filters are crazy. I mean, I just probably touch just the bare minimum when it comes to filtering. I'm like, here's the email address, who it's from, go into this folder, done deal. Like mine's pretty simple, but that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's super helpful. And that's one that has helped clean up a lot of inboxes. Because again, a lot of people don't want to just go and start a new inbox. I was that way. I'm like, let me just completely get out of here. But And so it's not even like about shame or, you know, having a messy inbox and not being able to get out of it. Well, today is your day that you can get out of it. And, you know, that's one quick way to do it. A couple other filters that have been really good. I'm sure you use canned responses, Ed. And yeah. So if you have the lab, which again, you just go to settings, labs, and then you type in canned responses. Some guy named Chad P created this. So you hit enable and save, then you're good. And, you know, if you want to look at how to do canned responses and all that stuff, you can probably just Google it, honestly. And then from there, you actually filter wise. So say you have an alias that's pr@theclottergroup.com, and it's all about the opportunities that, you know, come my way to either speak at their community or speak in person or whatever else. I can have a filter that anybody who emails pr@theclottergroup.com and also has the word podcast in the body of the email gets sent an automated reply from me that says, hey, thank you so much for being interested in having me on your podcast, because I can assume if it has the word podcast in it, they're asking me to be on their podcast. And, you know, this is how I look at the opportunities. And here is the day that I review them. Go ahead and just fill out that form, and I'll get to you on the next Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it is that you review it. So that way, again, you're having a really great client experience because response time is really quick. But also you're not having to go in and type that message every single time. And that's a filter you can set up. Like literally you set it up based on, again, your alias of choice, so PR@, then you click, you can click mark as read as well. But then also there's a choice that's send the canned response, and then you choose which canned response it is. And every time that comes in, then it just automatically sends an email, and it's like having a support person, but it's all in Gmail and G Suite.
That's the one that I think I need to work on. I think that's the one I saw from you, and I was like, how do I do that? I need to figure that one out, because that was legit. I mean, it was awesome, because that's the thing. I will say I'm pretty quick at answering emails.
I am too.
You know, that's just the way it is. But then there are certain ones that I'm like, well, if I had the information ready to go on auto response,
right,
then that's what they need. So why not?
Yep, exactly.
And having those canned responses is huge. Now, what's a canned response for those who maybe aren't familiar with that?
Yes. Canned responses are essentially templated messages. So, for example, you can have a templated response if someone's saying, hey, like, I want to have a coffee chat with you. Instead of every single time somebody saying that, typing in, hey, I'm so excited that you want to have a coffee chat with me. Here's my scheduling link. Talk to you soon. You can actually create a message that is that and save it. So, again, this can be done inside of Gmail or G Suite. And then every time that message comes in, if you want to do it manually, you can just, there's a little arrow, and you hit canned responses, and then you select that canned response and then hit send. So it's, again, just shaving off 20, 40 seconds, a minute to do that response. But again, all of that adds up, and you can spend way less time inside your inbox than, I don't like to spend a lot of time in my inbox, so than you want to.
Yeah, no, and that's what's really nice. You know, you guys, you can probably relate a canned response to that note on your phone where you typed up something and you just copy and paste it all the time. Or if you're doing hashtags on Instagram, you copy and pasted those hashtags. If you haven't, there's a bonus tip for you. Hint, hint.
I know, I'm waiting there's one Instagram app that will send the photo and send the comment with all the hashtags in it. I don't remember which one that is, but I'm like, that would be such a time saver, because I totally do the note and I copy and I paste it. It's like, this is getting ridiculous.
Well, okay, so here's one other bonus for all of you guys. So see, this is why you tune in, because you just don't know what we're going to talk about and where we're going to go. Yep. So I apologize already ahead of time for those who have Android phones. I don't have the information for this, but those who have iPhones, there is an option in your settings let me pull it up here. You can go to So first, what you need to do is type all this stuff out on your notes. And when I say stuff, I mean whatever it is you're trying to auto response, whether it's your hashtags for Instagram or whatever else. It doesn't matter. We're going to stick with the Instagram example to keep it straight. So if you go to settings, general, keyboard, text replacement, this one's going to blow your mind.
Yes.
Then let's make sure I don't have anything. Okay.
Crazy.
All you have, whoops, let me get it in the camera there. All you have to do, if I can get it, hold on. All you have to do is hit that plus button.
Yeah.
And it will ask you what phrase you want to put there. So you literally copy and paste from your note that phrase, and it could be very long if it's hashtags. And then it says shortcut, optional. That is your magic response. So for instance, I type Ed Talk TV a lot now. I don't have to go there and literally type every time Ed Talk TV, each letter. All I have to do is do ETTV, bam, it fills everything in for me. No matter where I'm at.
Wow.
There. If I am on a Facebook group, see, you guys are gaining way too much knowledge.
This is what happens.
When we have our guests even taking notes, like we are on fire on a Friday night. So you guys, thank you for hanging out with us on a Friday night. Be sure to heart it up and share it out with your friends. But for your text replacements, so if I'm in a Facebook group, like today is Friday, there's promo Fridays, I should say.
Right.
Well, typically you know what you're going to type out, or it could be the same offer that you're offering. And maybe you just want to change the words a little bit. You take that copy, you type it up once, you take it, you save it as a shortcut, give whatever shortcut name you want, and then when that day comes, so next Friday, and it's promo day, in the comments on Facebook, you type your magical word or the magical letters for that shortcut, and bam, your whole thing is typed for you. All you have to do is go in and edit. Now, somebody show some heart or some fire emojis in the comments for those who are live, because I will tell you, that is a time saver. And since this is all about being efficient, we're taking it from the inbox to wherever else you're at. So,
right. I know. And I don't know if you do this, but with my Google Calendar, I have a calendar that's called Facebook Group Promos or something. And so I went in and found, all the different days that certain groups have promos. So Mondays, 5 different groups, Tuesdays got like 8, whatever. And I list the links to those groups. And so then every day I wake up, and I haven't done this in a little while, but every day I woke up and I would click all the different links, and then I would copy paste for my note. But now it's like literally I wake up, click the link, do my little shortcut, and that's even quicker.
Yep.
Wow. So how do you keep track of all your promos and stuff?
So I kind of have the same thing in Trello boards. So what I've done is I've actually have a daily Trello board, and then I have days of the week. And then I put what Facebook group is in, or I put each day a Facebook group that applies to that day. So, if it's promo Friday, then I list those groups.
Gotcha.
Have I really utilized that? Not so much, because when I wake up and I go through my news feed, I actually have them all showing me first almost.
Wow.
So because I have the follow part on there, and that's what I watch for. And because I'm active in those groups. Key is to be active. You need to engage like you guys are doing in the comments.
Yeah.
That's the key. And I've been telling you guys this forever, is that it's about the comments. It's about the engagement. And then you'll start getting those posts showing up more in your news feed. And then that way you'll be able to just open it up and kind of hit those places. And then you can reference your calendar or your Trello board or whatever for the other stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. That's super good. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like it's whatever's accessible to you. So if you open up your Trello board, then it would be smart to have it in your Trello board. I just have my phone next to me, and so I will literally sit in bed and just like, well, I used to just sit in bed and whatever, copy paste. And that's like how you can get like a lot. I mean, it's like a couple people here, a couple people there. So if you're like trying to increase your list and all this stuff, hey, Natalia, if you're trying to grow your list, like that's a super, super great way to do it. So, wow, we just went on a really awesome rabbit hole.
Yeah, we did.
Do you have show notes for this?
No, so here's a fun thing for all you guys to learn too, is this is so much fun for me, and it's so much fun to be bringing on guests like you, Jordan, and to just have the conversation. And then what I do is I actually take this, upload it to YouTube just so that it's there for anybody who might stumble upon it. And then I also put it on my blog for those who are maybe not on Facebook, because I have some friends that are like anti-Facebook. So if they go to my website, though, they can just see the blog and then they'll see it's there. And then I put a few, I try to put a few like key points. But see, for me, this is what I want to be doing. I don't want to be sitting there typing up all these notes. And for 2018, I decided that I'm just going to go with what works for me and go from there. Like,
I know, exactly. I totally agree, because there was like a point where, I'm at 89 episodes for my podcast, and people are like, why don't you have it on YouTube and have it all these places and have all the things and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, because the point of it is like to really connect with my guests and to like promote it on the places that I'm most active. And while I probably should put it on YouTube, I have all the images done from all the seasons, including this upcoming one, to where I could put it on YouTube and just do like the little audio wave thing. But it's figuring out what works for you and where to best use your time. And for me right now, my podcast like gets really good engagement and whatever pull for my Instagram and my Facebook. And so I'm like, that's where I'm going to be. Literally, if you go to my Pinterest right now, there's nothing there. Big old goose egg. I think I have one follower, might be myself. And that's it. Like, it's like, you really have to choose where you want to spend that time. And so I totally agree with you that if show notes or whatever else are not in the cards, hey, don't do it. People got to watch and see the goods.
Exactly. And that's my take on it, is that, and it's proof too, like we were talking about earlier, for those just joining, is it's proof when you see my page. Again, I'm not perfect at this stuff, and I'm not trying to be the almighty. I'm just giving you examples, real life examples.
Right.
That when you look at my page, you can see there's more engagement on it than other pages. You can see there's more engagement on the actual live broadcast and the follow-up, the replays. Like, that's huge. I mean, I actually looked at my page, and the amount of people that it shows that actually like it versus follow is funny, because there's more people that follow my page, which is what I want, because that means that they actually are going to see my stuff, than there are that actually like it.
I have the same thing. Is that good? I'm glad that you said that, because I was like, I don't know. I feel like that's good, but I don't know.
Yeah. So here's a quick tip for you guys. And you'll see it in my pinned post later. If you look at the page, I have a pinned post showing you how to do this. But what happens is, if you like a page, that's just like, awesome, cool, like, boom, cool. But then you have to do the extra work and hit follow, see first. And that's what's going to allow your post from your page to show up in somebody's newsfeed. Because if you don't do that, and you just like a page, and you maybe just follow, but just liking, it won't necessarily show up in your newsfeed, because it's the algorithm. It's changing, and they want you to pay in order to get that. So that's why you have to train, which is why I put the pinned post there, your customers, your clients, your potential customers, how to find you, how to follow you, what your direction is, because we're all just being attracted, and then we need to be told what needs to happen next. So being able to follow a page and then change it to see first is what you want. So having more people follow your page than actually like it is better.
So, but they have to like it first.
They can, or they could just hit follow automatically, because there's two separate buttons, and they can automatically just hit follow and then see first.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add that in there. Because also I know that like Facebook reviews are a big thing, especially if you're wanting to do advertising and stuff. But Facebook wants you to do that, and you have like 5. But I also haven't been focusing on it. So if it's like I'm wanting to focus on reviews on my podcast and reviews on Facebook, as far as just like getting those up and just to help out with getting seen in the different places.
Yes, and I'm huge on reviews as well. I redirect the conversation for that. I have a lot of people who will give me great reviews in comments, and then I ask them if they could send that over to the review tab, because you actually get a URL that you can send people to. And so I also have it on my website where people want to leave a review. They click the button and it takes them to my Facebook review tab, and then they're able to leave a review there. So it gives that that social proof that I'm not just saying I'm good at things, that I have actual people saying that I'm good at things.
Right. Hello. That proof. That's for sure. No, that's really good. I guess any last inbox tips that you have, and maybe even with filtering and all that stuff, but also are there certain labels that you use or stuff like that that might be helpful?
Yeah, well, since we're coming up on, we're in the new year, but we're coming up on tax season soon. I actually have one of my labels as I have receipts. So literally I can put everything in there. And I've actually gone a little further, and I had a sub-label or a sub-folder for each year.
Ooh.
So it's receipts, and then it's 2016, 2017, 2018. So then that way I can just pop things in there. Again, sometimes I get a little too organized, and it may backfire, but that's a big one.
Yeah, that's helpful though. That's really helpful because I just have everything going in like a receipts folder right now. But it would be nice to have the years. I like that addition.
Yeah, having the years really does help. That's probably one of my biggest ones that I use the most. And then of course, you just have your regular business type ones. So like, you could have just a simple business label, and then those are where, like tax information or just real like business parts of the business go to that one. It just depends on how you want to organize your inbox.
Yeah. I actually also, another one is if I guess use someone else's calendar link, so Acuity, Calendly, Schedule Once, whatever, I actually have all those filtered into a folder as well automatically. And so that is just, I've literally been using all of those, and so I know what the email addresses are that use those updates or send those updates, and so then I just enter those all into a filter, have them sent to a folder, because I tend to, like, when someone tells me something's happening, I automatically go to my calendar and do it, or if it automatically is added to my calendar, then it's there. And again, I don't need you clogging up my inbox with a bunch of reminders, because my Google Calendar is so like, I live by my Google Calendar. If it's not on my Google Calendar, it's not happening. So, and it comes to things like, getting my nails done, or I'm actually doing a sushi making class next Thursday. I'm very excited about that. 2018, I've been wanting to put like one thing on my calendar that like I've been saying I want to do but haven't done. Sushi making is January. I have a calligraphy class in February, which I'm excited about. March, I think I'm gonna like have a sommelier come over and like tell me how to like actually know what wine is what and flavor profiles and stuff. So that's really fun. But yeah, Google Updates is something that I put in there, and it's all just like calendar, or like if people are having me look at or people are commenting on my Google Docs or spreadsheets and stuff like that, again, I don't need to get updates every single time that happens. So you all get shoved into a folder and I'll just look at it when you say that you're done with it.
And that's the thing too, is that, you know, if you guys are just starting out with filters and stuff, it might be overwhelming hearing a lot of this, but let me just point out that once you actually start looking into this and start seeing it and trying it, you are like on fire with these filters.
Woo! I know. People see whatever, if I'm teaching and somebody goes and I'm going through my filter, they're like, how many of these do you have? And I'm like, girl, you don't even want to, I don't know. I probably have 40 to 50, if not more, filters. I have a lot of filters.
Well, it looks like Anna definitely already wants you to come back on the show and talk about calendars.
My evil plan. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that will be a good one, Anna. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because you know we'll definitely have to have Jordan back on the show for that, because she is amazing with all of these systems and processes.
I know. I try to be anyway. It's kind of what I do for other people, so I better have my own ish together, right?
That's awesome. Well, anything else you want to add before I take it back over, and then I'll make sure to have you drop in any links you want in the comments as well.
Yeah, totally. No, I think honestly the biggest thing, and people say, okay, well, what's the one thing that I can do? And the number one thing is the unsubscribes folder that I mentioned before. So, filtering all your newsletters into one folder and going through and manually unsubscribing to ones you don't want anymore. And that will dramatically take a ton of messages out of your inbox that you probably have, if, again, you're using it for that purpose. And another, and if you already don't have newsletters in your inbox, then the one thing that you can do is start with aliases and start figuring out, how you either want to organize your clients coming in or your opportunities like PR, or again, the software at logins. Figure out what aliases you want is probably the number one thing I have, and start filtering stuff into there, and just start with one alias and one filter. And then once you have that, then you can, move through the rest of them.
Awesome. Great advice. Thank you so much, Jordan, for joining us. I will let you pop into the comments, and then I'm going to have a few more words with you guys.
Perfect. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You guys, how awesome was that? You got way more than just inbox information. This is so crazy. I love it. So just so you know, we covered a quick recap. Let's see if I can even get all the stuff we covered. We talked about inbox and how you can make your inbox a better place by filtering, having those different labels. There's even different email addresses. We talked about aliases, which are those separate email addresses that you can get inside of Google, the G Suite we referred to. We also talked about Facebook promo days and just Facebook in general, and how your pages, your comments, all that, and engaging. Basically, it's just about engagement and really simplifying things. We also talked about how you can start having a shortcut on your phone, if you have an iPhone, by having the settings in there. There's text replacements where you can literally copy and paste your hashtags or the words that you type a lot or your website that you type a lot. All of that we covered in here, as well as we talked about a little bit about calendars. I mean, there's so much. So definitely rewatch this if you haven't, or if you're already taking notes but you want to come back to it. It's going to be here. I'll put it on the blog as well. Be sure to also share this out with your friends, and show up next week. We have a full lineup of guests as well. If you want to be a guest, definitely head over to Check with Ed after this episode, and you'll be able to see the Facebook Live show there. And I'm going to turn it over to our sponsor. Take care, guys. Thanks so much for joining. This episode is sponsored by Stupid Easy. Easily create, share, and sell your online courses. Discover more at stupideasy.com.